Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something that has been requested on the channel for a little bit now, and that is what's missing from this book. So I've been talking about this a lot and I've been wanting to do this video for some time now. This video is about the missed opportunities that were present in the Sister Battle Codex, such as the Stormraven. I don't know why we didn't get Stormravens, even though they are in our lore now. But I digress. I mean, I guess GW just doesn't want to sell Stormravens. But today we are going to take a dive into the Sister Battle Codex and look at some of the cool things that could have been added and maybe added. Actually, I can't even guess about that. I kind of want these models. This isn't theories or they should put this in. This is more of stuff that I wish was in here. This is a wish list, okay? I've done this video before the Codex got released, and a lot of my expectations were really high, so this video is kind of just going over the same stuff, I guess, but more realistic. There we go. So, what this Codex has is a tier 1 army. The Sisters of Battle are one of the best armies in the game right now. The best way to run them is simply put 180 bodies on the field, movement trays, and just barrage your opponent with a 4-up invo as you walk across the field. Using Holy Trinity where it's needed, and yeah, just literally flooding your opponent with 4+ invulnerable saves that they simply cannot get through. Or at least they can't get through enough of them. So yeah, I kind of expected the Sisters to be a good army. I was not expecting a tier 1 meta army. So that was a good surprise. That was definitely a good surprise. I'm going to say tier 1 meta, but until I kind of play them in a few tournaments, I do need to see how it stacks up against certain lists. I have been playing a little bit more tournament preppy style games, but at the end of the day, I kind of don't want to do tournaments. So I got somebody to do it. Also, the commission painter for the studio now. By the way, we have a commission painter. I will have more details on that when I finally decide to actually get details on that. But if you want stuff commission painted at a very low price, please contact me. I am so good at plugs. Don't make jokes out of that. Anyway, so I'm sitting in front of my 10,000 points of Sisters of Battle. It's actually under 10,000, but 10,000 sounds so much better. It's at like 9,400 something, but 10K just sounds better than 9,000. So, too bad. I'm also including the aircrafts, because reasons. So, that actually starts off my list. You can see my Avenger Strike Fighters right here behind me. Give them the Adeptus Sororitas keyword. Just give them the Ministorm keyword. And all you have to do for their lore is actively just say they're under the commission of the Ecclesiarchy at the time of the invasion, or at the time of war. Boom, there you go. Please give us back our aircrafts. And Avenger Strike Fighters, they're kind of terrible. They are one of the worst performing aircrafts in 40k as of currently, with the highest being the Stormravens, or not Stormraven, but the Stormraven equivalents. The Thunderhawks seen play early on in this edition. The best aircrafts are not Imperial. The Razor Wing and the Exarch aircraft, which name I can't remember, but it's probably I Shoot Magic Bullets the airplane. And things of that nature. So it would be cool to see us get back the Avenger Strike Fighter. And I know technically you can run it with the Sisterhood, but you lose your sacred rights. It's kind of a giant pain in the keister. And I don't like pains in the keister. So just give us back our Avenger. They're not even that good. Like, it would sell the Avenger, and it wouldn't even benefit from anything. Just give it the same rules you give the Imperial Navy aircrafts, and boom. We now have an aircraft that is mediocre, and we probably wouldn't take it, but it would still be good to have an aircraft option. I really thought they were going to give us an aircraft option. Instead, they gave us a floating coffin, which was strange, but very Sororitas-y. So I like it. I like it. I wish its rules were a little bit better, and its model was a little bit smaller. I kind of wish it would lose half of its wounds, and then it would be ridiculously good. Like, it can stay the same points, half its wounds, and it's good. By the way, its wounds are 18. If you have that, it's 9. Then characters can actually protect it. Also, if they gave it the order keyword, well, not characters, but units can protect it. And if they gave it the order keyword, that means Celestians can actually protect it. And as of right now, Celestians are once again still kind of useless. I really thought that they were going to be good, and every time I build my list, I don't include them. So, that is number 1 on my list. Avenger Strike Fighter. It's not that good. Give it to us. Speaking of aircrafts, give us the Stormraven. Legit, you had it in the Omnibus. The last story in the Omnibus, they literally deploy by Stormraven, and they even have land speeders. At least it's implied that they have land speeders. So I don't see why we wouldn't have these things, because the land speeder are usually maintained by Space Marine legions. That is true. I'm not trying to make them Space Marines. Keep this in mind. I'm simply going based off of the lore. The Sisters of Battle get almost all of their war gear exclusively from Mars through the Ecclesiarchy buying their war gear and then gifting it to the Sisters of Battle in order to be the frontline infantry for the Ministorum, as well as being the go-to for the Ordo Hereticus as an army. So it stands to reason that they could commission the Land Speeder as well as the Stormraven. So, come on, please? Peace? Also, the Stormraven would actually be ridiculously good for us. Like, it has a unit transport of 10, change its Dreadnought transport to a Penitent engine, or a, the other one, the Mortifier, or the Mortifier's upgrade, whose name I can't remember at all, ever, because reasons. Give it all of its same options, but instead of plasma cannon, take away its plasma cannons and its las cannons. And I'd be okay with it, because you would have, I mean, even if you took away its assault cannon and just gave it a heavy bolter on top of it, I'd be okay with that. Because it would be multi-melta, heavy bolter, and hurricane bolter, which falls under the Holy Trinity, which would be cool. Also, I have a ton of Stormravens that have Sororitas iconography all over them. In fact, I'm looking at one off camera right now. In fact, I'm going to grab it, because mine even have Sororitas pilots. See that? Sororitas in it. Whee! Anyway, everybody makes noises when they carry an aircraft. This one makes Daka noises, because I gave it all to Daka. Still gotta paint these. I haven't taken these things in a while, so I don't really paint them. Just go ahead and put that right over here as I break its gun off, because I am skilled at everything that I do, especially when it comes to breaking stuff. So those would carry out the aircrafts, and the real issue that the Sisters have, which is rapid redeployment. They also lack Auspex scan, which I think is weird considering that they're Sisters of Battle with literal Auspexes hanging off of them. Just seems kind of like they forgot. Just saying. The next thing, and it's probably the biggest thing, and I'm going to keep this list relatively small and this video pretty short. The next big thing is a generic living saint. For the love of the Emperor. You have demon princes, give us a generic living saint. In fact, you talk about them all the time in the lore. So it stands to reason that we should get one. In fact, you could release a living saint kit for like $60, $70. I know it costs the company like $10,000 or so to actually make the thing. They need to pay the artist. They need to pay the sculptor. They should fire their current artist who drew in this book, because the artwork in this book is, to say atrocious is a compliment. Some of the artwork in here, like the tank artwork is pretty good, but a good chunk of this artwork is, like, how to describe this art in this book from this current artist, because it's all from the same artist. It goes beyond actual words in the English language and is more of an oof. Like, you look at it like, ooh, I know, no. It's kind of like that, it's the same artist that did the newest guy, the Banana Marine dude guy, whose name I can't remember, and the Salamander, who did the artwork for them, and they look absolutely atrocious. Like, they look laughably bad in their artwork. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, they could hire somebody who has talent. They should be, at this point, paying off Disharmonia, considering she has the most iconic artwork in all of 40K at this current moment. And I honestly think they should just, you know, ask her to do it and just put her on payroll and just be like, here, we want all of this stuff so we can have good pictures of our stuff. I know one of my friends is actually an artist for GW, and she does amazing work. She does most of the cartoony work, which I really like. I think it's amazing. Kaiser, she is awesome. I love her to death. But a generic living saint, she should have options like to take wings, to not take wings. Living saint on foot could be cool. She could have like a 2+ save or not a 2+ save. Say very simple things. A sword, a scythe, any type of melee weapon you can think of. And just give it a simple stat line like you did with the Blessed Blade. So instead of power axes, we now have the Blessed Blade, which has no description in this book that I've been able to find. At least I checked once or twice through here. I looked through all of its, all of the pictures that show off the wargear and everything. And as far as I can tell, the Blessed Blade is literally anything with a blade. So, yeah. Like, you got this power sword. You got the Penitent Eviscerator, which you took away from our Canonesses. I'm not happy with that. No, not happy with that at all. Nope. Canoness Kane wants her Eviscerator back. Still fielding it with an Eviscerator, by the way. But as far as I can tell, there is no Blessed Blade picture in here. Yeah, nothing. So I guess I can use any bladed weapon for a Blessed Blade. So that's kind of cool. So it stands to reason that you could use anything for the generic living saint and call it the Holy Blade of yada blah blah. And I don't really care. Just insert a random angel name here. Or if you want to be really creative, put a fallen angel there, like you do with the Dark Angels. I really like that. But it does stand to reason that a generic living saint would be a cool addition to the book. They did give us June, and I really, 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 really like June. In fact, I use her as a second angel in my army. And I'm probably going to keep doing that even after I purchase the model itself. I'm going to have Saint June, but it's going to be another living saint. And I'm just going to use all of June's rules. I actually might put June like dead on the ground on the base itself, and then have the living saint above it using the same like profile. So it's just as big as it's just as big as June, but it's a living saint because it's cooler. And I really, really encourage conversions. I really like them. The next thing is bikes. I really wanted bikes. I can deal without Terminator armor because I can see why these Sororitas don't get Terminator armor, even though Terminator armor is actually extremely common for humans. Keep this in mind, in the lore, you can find Space Hulks literally filled with Terminator armor, literal thousands of suits, and then they have to be retrofitted to fit these Space Marines. Keep that in mind. Space Marine Terminator armor, way different. Regular Terminator armor, common and is a thing that they can produce. It's just they don't really mass produce it because of reasons. I don't know why I would mass produce the hell out of it, and I would have every soldier deploying in it if it's as tough as it's supposed to be, because I would be fighting in naval warfare and not actually on boots on the ground, because boots on the ground is ultimately pointless when you can fight the war from the air as far away as possible, as current military tries to do. But still, we still do need soldiers on the ground, so I see why. Anyway, moving on from that, I do want bikes for this is just a battle. The Genestealer cult has dirt bikes. Space Marines have Harleys, or sort of Harleys. So I kind of want sports bikes for sisters, or hybrids, like a sports bike cruiser. Like my old Yamaha Phaser would be a perfect weapon for the sisterhood. Just put the 2 guns on the front of it, or even 1 gun. I would be okay with 1 gun. Just give them an extra gun on it. Give them a movement profile of 14 inches, and make it an upgrade for the Seraphim or Dominions. And then you can have the Seraphim wielding their Inferno pistols, as well as riding their bikes, as well as the bike having a gun similar to that of Space Marines. Similar, not the same. But you'd still have only toughness 4 because a bike only increases toughness by 1 and wound characteristic by 1. So it would actually be really cool to see how these sisters make use of bikes. Considering that we did lose a couple of our biggest things like the Repressor Rush, no thanks to May, I totally take the blame for all of that. That is my fault. Yeah, so oopsie daisy, my bad. I do apologize about that. But I do think bikes would be a really cool addition to the Adeptus Sororitas lineup. And it's not like bikes are hard to make. I mean, it's not, yeah, I mean, they're bikes. I mean, it's, if Imperial Guard can have horses. Okay, so if Imperial Guard could have had horses. Okay, so the Imperial Guard horses are gone. But still, you could take Rough Riders from Forge World. And that's kind of it at this point. You could take Kriegers on horses. That's it. But still, Sisters of Battle on type of sports bike would actually be really, really, really ridiculously cool. And it would be one of my favorite things that I've ever gotten to see. Also, another thing, just some wargear options for Canoness that makes sense. Because you sold us a model from the Start Collecting kit, that, well, not really Start Collecting, the set that this came in, that is illegal to run. She has a plasma pistol, power sword, and Rod of Office. She can't actually have that. She has to have a bolt pistol if she takes the Rod of Office. And the way of buying wargear for the Canoness desperately needs to be FAQ'd. In fact, it should just go back to the index one. I know GW doesn't like to sell units that don't have their wargear, but I do really think that they could just sell it kind of like the old Space Marine Captain, where it's just a box set, Canoness, ton of options. So yeah, I really do think that they could have done that and made the Canoness a little bit better. Also give her a jump pack and the ability to take a bike if you do put the bike in there, because Canoness on a bike would just be freaking cool as hell. Like, nothing makes a nun cooler than putting that nun in tights and on a motorcycle. And GW, you've done one of those two things. Sort of. Although I still don't forgive you for what you did to my Repentia. I will never forgive you for what you did to the Repentia. In fact, I threw those Repentia into a bits bag, and I bought old Repentia to make up the new 9 that I need for my list. Because I do want to run 27 in a list. So I want to try that. I think it'd be really fun. But with that all said, I want to know your thoughts, your comments. I write that down below over here. While you're down there, be sure to like this video. Be sure to share this video so that it can get as far out there, because the beacon of the Astronomicon needs to stretch and needs to go to the warring warriors of the Imperium who are losing faith, and show them that I am a shining example of faith. Don't look at the Tyranids behind me, or the fact that I have 2 demon armies. Shh. I am faithful. Anyway, guys, comment your thoughts down below. There you can also check out all the links in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. I post a lot of things on Instagram. I post a lot of things on... Wow, I just drew a complete blank. I mostly post questions and updates on my Facebook. And on my Twitter, I'm more active and more fun, I guess. Also join my Discord. My Discord is a very open and welcoming community. We have a lot of people there and who are really good at tactics, who are really good at painting, who are ridiculously good at the game, who enjoy the hobby, who enjoy the lore, and it is just a warm and welcoming community. Also, if you're super awesome, please check out check out my Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping me out. It literally bought me this set, which I can't thank you guys enough. I got 2 of this set. I gave out one of the codexes on stream, and it bought me that stuff. So you guys really did a lot for me. Please continue supporting me on Patreon. It goes a long way to help. I do plan to put videos on there in the future. I want to try to put more content on there. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye. Hey everyone, do you want a cool shirt? Be sure to check out my Teespring. Link is in the description down below.